We're seeing some changes in America and Britain too, for that matter. Some are very, very cool changes, and other ones, well, we're preppers. Of course, we have to be concerned about this. First, the cool part. We're seeing a trend, a change in the trends. How about that? When it comes to the view of prepping and preparedness. Because, I mean, how many years has it been since the ridiculous show Doomsday Preppers, which I'm thinking some of the preppers on there were true preppers, but of course, typical television trying to make it so they look outlandish. And because of that, it has given people the viewpoint of preppers as being paranoid, extreme, antisocial, which honestly, in some of those, I'm not completely disagreeing, but obsessed with unusual or unlikely catastrophes. Now, to be honest, I've never seen the show, never watched it, and I take pride in that, by the way, because I do true prepping and actually doing stuff instead of watching ridiculous shows. But in reality, just talking with people and seeing how this prepping community works, I think the obsessed with like unlikely catastrophes has some truth to it. It kind of frightens me. So what's cool about that is we're starting to steer away from that. The whole society, as far as prepping and preparedness, is becoming more, it's waking up to be becoming more realistic. And I think that's why this channel resonates with so many of you, is because it's based on realism. We're older adults. We've been around the block for a time or two. We've seen things and how they work. And it's not about going off on these outlandish tangents. Now, should we look at every possibility? Yeah, a motto in my life is listen to everything, but don't follow anyone specifically. Just try to make your own judgment and determinations and simply just don't jump on bandwagons. I hate bandwagons. I hate the whole premise of it. But we focus on what? Real scenarios and real possibilities. And I think that's what you do too. Real stuff instead of complete outlandish stuff. Once in a while we see it on our channel. Once in a while we see somebody comment and we're like, I don't know where that came from. But anyways, that's okay. To each their own. So I'm going to go through some very, 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 very real worries that are happening on preppers' minds right now. But these are all realistic ones. They're not end of the world doomsday stuff. Preppers are getting smart. In fact, the whole trends of people prepping for emergencies and disasters is increasing because people are waking up and realizing, oh, wait, the world's not all rosy and cherries and everything, all happiness. No, of course not. We've known that. The reason you're probably here is because you probably experienced things that were not so rosy in your life and you realize, oh, we need to prepare. The world's waking up to this. Unfortunately, for some people, they're waking up almost kind of too late because the things that are happening right now are huge. So what are some things we want to focus on? The biggest realistic things we need to focus on, number one, is simply just severe weather threats, hurricanes, tornadoes. One of the biggest ones I look at is winter storms. Winter storms is huge. I mean, you don't want to freeze to death. Wildfires, I worry about that one too. You know, out here in the middle of nowhere in Michigan, we have to almost be our own fire department. It's going to take forever before they get out here in case there is a fire. But listen, weather-related disasters are by far the most common disasters that hit us. So as preppers, why are we focused so much on like this doomsday scenarios and all these huge things when literally just weather catastrophes are by far more statistically going to hit you? That's the smart prepper. And the thing is, I'd bet money that it has already affected you and hit you at one point. For us and our family, when we lived in Florida, we got hit by a tornado. We're on a cul-de-sac, 7 houses. The majority of the houses of that cul-de-sac, all close together, were unoccupied. Our house, we got a lot of damage, but we didn't have to leave, which was great. But our neighbors did. I literally saw out the window their entire roof blowing off. Having these natural disasters, we need to have the basics. Food, water, ways to cook, etc. That's the stuff we've talked about too. And I find a lot of the stuff is just really simple stuff. But encountering the weather situations is probably our biggest thing we need to look at because that's the most likely scenario. Number 2, I just made a video about this. Another very likely scenario, because it hits us all the time, are power grid and power outages and blackouts. Because remember, a power outage is simply just the power out for a couple hours maybe. Whereas like if you have like a blackout, that's like extended period of time, because we talked about how at any given time in America right now, 130,000 people are without power at any given time. And even more so in the last few years, we've seen blackouts going from the typical duration of 8 hours to 12 hours. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. And as more power is being consumed, it's going to get far worse. So yeah, that's something we should prepare for. Prepare to not have power. Good luck with that one. I'm not saying it can't happen. I know there's a lot of people who are off grid watching this who's saying that's the case, but even more so, we have to look at your refrigerator, freezer at the very least. keeping your food so it won't spoil, and at least not losing a lot of money. In the wintertime, having it so you have a heat source. Because even though your furnace probably uses some type of natural gas or propane, more than likely anyway, you still have to have electricity to power it. So preparing for that with some kind of generator is a great thing. I have a gas generator. I have lots of solar generators. You pick your poison, which one you like the most. Now, the biggest one that we definitely see, and people have learned this one the hard way, is, well, inflation, especially when it comes to food prices. Oh my gosh. Isn't it incredible how expensive food has gotten? And they estimate, by the way, it's only like 24% more expensive over the last 8 years. I don't see that. I see it as being far more expensive than that. All I know is we go grocery shopping. We have a big family. And afterwards, it's like sticker shock. I feel like I bought just a used car. It's unbelievable how expensive it is. And it's getting more and more difficult simply just to buy the staples, the basics of life. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a paradigm shift. Ready? Out of anything in this video, listen to this right here. Most preppers prepare for shortages. And even that's what we look at, right? We look at a shortage here and there. But what you should really prepare for is affordability. That is the key to prepping, by the way, affordability. Not simply just buying food because of shortages, but buying the canned food, for example, doesn't have to be canned food, when it's on sale. You get a lot of it and stockpile it and store it. It's about affordability and saving money. That's actually more important in prepping than simply just stockpiling whatever, especially if it's food you don't even eat, right? There's nothing worse than that. But here's the thing. Inflation's going to continue going up. Of course it will. As that happens, the dollar deflates and your purchasing power decreases. You're not going to be able to buy as much. So at the very least, even if you're not any type of prepper at all, like I don't want to prep, you should at least stockpile food. It's only going to get more expensive and it's still going to last. It's not like going to expire in your pantry. It's not going to happen. Canned food lasts. I've talked about this many times before, indefinitely. As long as the can doesn't get, the integrity isn't compromised, that canned food is sterile. It will not go bad. Years and years. I have people on this channel all the time comment and said, yeah, I just opened up a can of fill in the blank. It's 25 years old and it was still just good. Exactly. So you're banking on the future. Food prices are going to go up. It's kind of like buying into the food market. It's like the stock market, because someday that's going to be worth a lot more money. I mean, you're not going to sell your corned beef hash. Of course not. It's delicious. But buying it now is affordable, especially if it's on sale, especially if it's bulk, especially if you do comparative shopping, which takes a little bit of effort. All right. So this is why I put videos out about sales, by the way. I'll talk about, look, if you want to buy this food, you buy it here and here. But it's funny. These are not the popular videos I put out. Why? Because people want to look at the doomsday stuff. But this channel is not dedicated to doomsday stuff as other channels are. We're talking about real life smart preparedness. And that's why also, obviously, a quick plug, I put out the Ninja Binder, because it's about practical steps you can take, including the checklist on there that make it so you can check off what you need and what you don't need. That way you can relax and enjoy your life and spend time with family. Go to the beach instead of always just worrying about prepping and preparedness. But the sale's still going on that, by the way, $20 off, and it's linked below. All right, back to it. Supply chain disruptions. Yes, this is still a concern. I have more concern with affordability of food than supply chains, because you're always going to have something, even during normal times per se, where you may not be able to buy this right now because it's low in stock, or this. Do you remember back in the day, back in the good old days, 70s and 80s, when you go to the store and it was actually fairly common something not to be in stock? You just deal with it. You either A, see if there's another way around it, or just usually what we do is what? Be patient, and eventually it'll come back in stock again. Or they did what they did back then. Let me go ahead and special order that for you so that's where you have it. But today, this whole idea that, oh my gosh, supply chain's going down. What are we going to do? How about you be patient and relax, because you're going to get it. It's going to take some time, but we prepare ahead of time to be able to counteract that. But the thing is, the state of the world right now, of course we have disruptions. And again, do you think the state of the world is going to get better? I hope so, but I don't think so. Next, boy, this is, we didn't really have to worry about so much, even though we worried about spy and espionage back in our days, right? But now today, cyber attacks, especially cyber attacks on the infrastructure. This is a concern. But it's the same thing. If the grid goes down, well, that's like a blackout. If our water supply goes down, well, hopefully you have some water filters and such. You can get your own water. But the biggest fear about this, and why it concerns people, is this is not like some kind of land, air, and sea war where there's actually troops on the ground. You can have, in this case, a hacker from some third world country tapping away and infiltrating the United States infrastructure area. And now suddenly we could have a blackout. It's a very real concern. I will ask you, though, how often has that happened ever? It's a concern. It's something we have to think about. It might happen, sure, but it's not anything like you and I can really do anything about the actual attack. All we can do is prep and prepare. And what do? If there's no power, we have generators. If we have no banking, then you have some extra cash or other things you can barter. If you have no gas, well, get the gas now and put some stabilizers in it and have everything ready ahead of time in case that does happen. Because will it happen? Probably, but we haven't seen a major one anyway in our lovely United States government. I say that with a little tongue in cheek, but I do really depend on them. They are doing what they can to make sure this doesn't happen. That's my 2 cents worth. But it is a very real threat and something we worry about, but it's still something we can literally prep for. The last one, however, this one, I remember as a kid seeing these things sometimes, but in our modern times, I ask what's happening to our American streets, but it's simply the civil unrest. I'm going to add on to that, civil unrest and general uncertainty of what's happening in the situation. I don't like the uncertainty part. I like a nice, stable country. I pay my taxes. You know what? I do what I can to put my part into our civilization we have in the United States. I'm a good citizen for that. But I feel like that what's coming back as far as the government goes, I mean, there's always been corruption, but I just feel like more and more we're seeing that corruption. Let me ask you, put it in the comments below, do you think that's what's happening? Do you see that more and more? Or am I actually looking at this through the naive eyes of when I was young? I didn't really see it as much, but I know there's always been like things that have happened, but it just seems now I don't really know where to put my trust in the government. So in reality, I don't put my trust in the government. So I put my trust in me and my family and the things I can stockpile and many other things too, obviously, that we don't necessarily mention on this channel. But civil unrest, that's something that really has taken hold and we've seen in the last few years. And again, I thought I would never see it before on our streets, not just a civil unrest at some campus somewhere, but the insanity that's happening on the streets. And it pops up and dies down, pops up and dies down. And personally, I think it's orchestrated. You may agree or disagree. That aside, the general uncertainty, here's what I want to look at. The whole thing, when we talk about the Goshen prepping community, both you and me, we don't worry about this usually as much, this uncertainty, because we're older, more experienced, and you know that everything goes with these huge ebb and flows up and down. And your time you're having great times, you'll remind yourself, not all times will be great. And there'll be times when you hit rock bottom, you'll say, not all times will be this bad because we have this life experience. My problem is this: when you talk about the civil unrest, these people usually in the civil unrest have not had the generations of experience, are the ones causing this up and down. And this could be problematic because they're not simply saying, you know what, guys, relax, everything's going to work out. They sometimes will take it into their own hands. And that's honestly, out of all this stuff, that's what frightens me most, because this is where real bad changes have taken place in countries, where countries have collapsed when that happens too much. So that's the biggest thing I worry about. That's the biggest I'm concerned about. What about you? But I want to talk about one more time, the Ninja Binder, if you haven't picked it up, is on sale, $20 off. We'll link it below, because as the Goshen prepping community, we work together and we're a family and we help each other out. But I built this binder, not really, it sounds awful, not for you. I built it for me so that way I can keep track of everything. But I thought it'd be perfect for some people who want to use it too, especially the checklist, so you can check things off. I love it. All right, so one step at a time, guys. We are the older generation. We are pushing along and doing what we need to. We're not doomsdayers. If you are, guys, you might want to consider and say, just relax. I don't think we're looking at a doomsday scenario. That's me personally. But I am looking at as far as just calm preparedness and then living your life, spending time with your family, shooting for your goals and dreams, we've talked about before too. Thanks for watching, everybody. The binder is linked below if you want to pick it up. And of course, I enjoy you being here. We'll see you next time.